this has been one of the most amazing productions I've seen. I'm absolutely enthusiastic, stimulated and excited by it because I think it's got such far-reaching implications and ramifications, and it's absolutely going to make a remarkable change in the practice of medicine and benefit children in places that would never see this standard of medication. It's vital that the rest of the underdeveloped world see this amazing product.
Why do I keep going back with KCE? It was essentially, in the beginning, getting this program myself, having this introduced to me by Ron Diekman as an emergency physician in the United States, to use it on our children, to actually effectively use the program to take better care of our kids coming into our emergency departments.
We had just spent a few years developing the first iteration of PEMSoft, which was this vast database that we were very excited about seeing how visual and how interactive it was. And it occurred to me that we should see how it worked in other countries. And there began my concept that this was something that was so much bigger than America. It was so much bigger than the West. It was an electronic knowledge system that had so much application to the whole world, and that there was a huge need for it. The commercial company that owns PEMSoft introduced the mobile app last year, and this was something we've been working on for about 2 years with several hundred people. But realized that we did not really know whether or not the mobile app was suitable for application in the low-income world. We did not know if they were accustomed to using them for answering clinical questions in medicine, and we didn't know if they could really make a difference in outcomes of patients. What we discovered in our Tanzania project this year was something to me that was really exciting. Most of the people using the software were inpatient doctors. They were hospitalists by our terminology, and they were critical care people. They weren't outpatient pediatricians, and they weren't emergency physicians. When we looked over the reviews of PEMSoft by these hospital-based doctors, we found that for them, it became their primary mode of getting information day to day.
The amazing thing about KidsCareEverywhere's work is that it is so immediately appealing. It sells itself so quickly that it seems within a simple hour's training session that we reach often 100 able, enthusiastic providers who then feel that they can train others. We trained in a number of settings, and one of the most thrilling was when we had more than 100 in a room. Doctors ranging from those with perhaps a year of post-medical school training, maybe some medical students, to the most senior level leadership in pediatrics at the National Hospital. And initially I felt there was a fair amount of skepticism and resistance, but by 60 minutes later, just a short interval, the message was so clear and so enthusiastically accepted that the very people who were defending the old ways, the textbook learning, were standing up and applauding and pointing out to their younger colleagues why they should give this their full attention and put it to work.
I'm an emergency physician, I'm a doc just like you, and I'm taking care of kids every day just like you, and this is a program that I use because it helps me to take care of my kids. So I'm actually just leveling the playing field with them. I'm hearing back from folks 3-4 years later out of Rwanda from one training session that don't forget about us. Can you update the program? Can we get it updated? In fact, can you come back and show us what you got? So that's the reason I keep coming back.
One of the most important people we met was the director of the emergency services at the National Hospital, Buchenbieling, who was clearly very reluctant. He had a lot of things on his plate. This was not a high priority, but he's very influential and very connected to people we wanted to know. And while we were actually waiting for another conversation, Ron is talking to this guy and said, "Let me just show you something." And he showed him a quick demo of the software. I would say it was no more than 5 minutes, and you sensed a transformation in the room. The guy became such a proponent that the next morning when he introduced us to the 100 people we were training, it was the most ringing and articulate endorsement that I think we've ever received. And it showed this incredible understanding of the nuances of what we were doing and its power.
Personally, I can tell you that if I start using this, it's going to be so great, it's going to be so easy, and it's going to be, if I may say, so much fun. So, I mean, I would not want to lose it, and have to go back to the old days and do the old things all over again.
The software itself is completely donated. Our team members that we take on these trips to these remote, impoverished locations all pay their own way. So the money that we get is all used to treat children. Kids Care Everywhere does a fantastic return on investment because everything that we get from every donor goes one way or another to saving a child's life.